But I would like to start from number 4, Amundara, the Taiwanese pili, because this is a 96 pili festival. Most important thing is we have pili instrument. Unfortunately, we have a pili instrument in Taiwan. So I'm very happy and to have this opportunity to share with you the pili instrument in Taiwan. This instrument is definitely I listen to the Korean pili. It's very similar to Korean pili, but you listen later. The sound is somewhat different, and the construction. The pili construction. It's made of the bamboo. Bamboo. It's a bamboo, and the blowing mouth is made of leaf stem. Leaf stem. So the tone color is very dark, low, and gloomy. To show you this and the tone. And the name is called but for people they usually play in this way. Yeah. Okay, then I will introduce the Amu Dara 4 sounds. Amu means mother duck, Amu. And Dara is a general name for blowing instrument. For instance, we have the clarinet, Western clarinet, we call it O Dara. O is a break. The break dara. So this Amu Dara is a mother duck dara instrument, long instrument. And so usually this instrument is playing in a local Chinese opera. We call in local Chinese opera we call it a 歌仔戏, 华戏 in a local name. And that kind of opera, usually we have a very sad mood. The singer will sing a very sorrowful song. We call it crying song, 靠调啊. It's really crying, singing and crying. But only thing is no tears, crying without tears. That's the only thing. But really, the crying sound. So in that case, this instrument will accompany, yes, you will see. Please play. This instrument will accompany the sorrowful singing song. Yeah. Okay, bring. In very occasion, used in Confucian ceremony. Cassette. Cassette. You not use the cassette. Oh, your cassette first. This later. You see? That's the Chinese, no, Taiwanese local opera sound. The singing is almost so crying. Alright, so you can listen to the crying sound, singing sound, and also the Amu Dara sound. It's very sort of very touching. Very touching movie. And now we may look at the TV. I have already TV. This TV is composed by Mr. Chen and also conducted by himself, performed by Taipei City Orchestra. originally only very limited range, only 9th. But afterwards they developed it to 2 octaves. Right now we have 2 octaves, tonal range. It's not very often used. Sometimes in Confucian ceremonies we use this instrument too. But more often, and this is newly composed, and in Chinese orchestra, the accompaniment.
You move it.
Sorry, because we touch the make some rewind, so we have to find the right place to start again. Yeah. Anyway, the Amdala is I think since we have many Korean audience here, do you think that's Amdala's sound is somewhat similar, very similar to Korean piri? That's somewhat similar to the sound. It's similar to the instrument. I wonder, is there any other music culture they have some kind of piri instrument? But I think this is very similar. All right. You try later. We will continue because the time is very limited. We asked. Originally, we have a translation, English and Korean translation, but ask the lady to cut short, otherwise we cannot finish up today's workshop. Now, we'll start from the first one. This is the playing technique of Taiwanese aerophone. We divide into 3 parts. The first part is traditional playing techniques. Traditional playing technique. This is mainly from Chinese tradition. We have 2 schools, northern school and southern school. In the boundary is the Yangtze River. Above the Yangtze River and the Yangtze River. And then we have a southern school, northern school. Now we will start introducing south school. The playing technique. South school, the flutes, you can show the flutes, is longer, and the tongue color is soft and graceful. Soft and graceful. Yes, thank you. And we have here we have 4 kinds of playing technique. The first one is Do Yin. It's a mistake in Chinese character, not Duan Yin. It's similar but different. Do is this side. You have a being with the horse, not the one. That's a mistake. Do Yin, right? Do Yin is a grace note. Coming very shortly before the principal note, the main note, shortly before that, and it play very fast. And we have 2 kinds. The first kind is upper grace notes, and the second kind is a low grace note. Will you please play the first one? This without grace note. It's only with no. Okay, now with this upper grace note, then play the low grace note. Now it's sometimes maybe combined both upper notes and low notes playing together. The second one we have here is a Lian Yin. Lian Yin is similar to Western modern, but the style is different. the style different. We have more than this. Just lift up the upper finger very fast and down. We have two kinds. Yes. We have an upper, it's an upper brace notes, upper yin, and then we also have a lower. Alright, the third one is 正音 here. 正音 means given note. This given note is at the ending note. At the end of a phrase, the player control the phrase very forcefully, and then suddenly open the fingers or stop the finger very fast, and to the given notes, and to produce a very short, very sharp tone. Is sometimes used in changing the breath. When changing the breath, you can fill in the gap. Yeah. Then we have piling. Piling means it's piling tone. Piling tone before the principal note. It's piling and playing down very fast. Piling. These are spiritually used in the Southern school. Now I'd like to ask Mr. Chen to play a piece representing the Southern school. This piece called Gusu Xing. It's a trip to Gusu, depicts the pretty scenery of the Gusu. Then I would like to introduce, in contrast, the northern school. The northern flute is smaller, and the tone color is different. Tone color, you will see, the tone is sharper and also louder. All right. Then the playing technique. First one is it's a tongue tip tone, and also. So we have three kinds: the single sound, double sound, and triple sound. We will play at first the single sound. So we have three kinds of that plosive sound. It depends on the tongue tip and also the tongue tip and also the maxilla, stopping the breath and make a plosive sound. Next one is the faster. Faster is flittering of the tongue tip inside the mouth to make a doo sound. Huayin means sliding sound, like a glissando. Glissando. It's slide from one tone to another tone, just like the bow instrument. In Taiwan, we have a called Yangmin Chunxiao. It's a spring morning in the Yangmingshan in Taipei. It's the second movement is very slow and graceful. Glissando. That's a Huayin. The slower glissando. Sliding sound. You have also can play quicker. You have already played that. And then we come to Li Yin. Li Yin means a stepwise scale note. Scale notes playing very fast, like flying. You can fly down and fly up too. And then come to Do Yin. Do Yin means cutting sound. Cutting from the top notes, from the upper notes to the main notes, very fast. Like this technique can combine together, playing together. For instance, we can play slide and also flickering together, two kinds. And then second, we can play the flying scale notes with the flickering tone. Sliding tone together with plosive sound. The above techniques are the principal characteristics in the northern school. You can compare the first southern school and the northern school. Then I would like to ask Mr. Chen can play one representing a piece of the northern school. It's called Suhama, Counting the Frogs. Counting the Frogs. So we introduce the traditional playing techniques. Then, under the second part is applied foreign techniques. In Taiwan, we also assimilate some from foreign playing techniques. The first one is slur playing. This might be from Western playing techniques. The slur, originally, Chinese food, they don't use slur, but this only after importation of the Western music, we try to have more expressive quality, and they use slur playing. The first, in northern school, sometimes they use t sound, either t sound, but it's only for stress purpose, not for expressive purpose. In the southern school, very few such kind of slur is used, but it's only in modern music we adopt this kind. Yeah, we will play. Right, and then second one is the skip notes. You know, in the traditional music, the flute playing, the melody is like the singing voice. It's stepwise, not without a big skip. But recently we also use a lot of the big skip so that we can add some more vivid, active expression in the flute music. I think with this time we have shakuhachi too. We also adopt the blowing technique in our Taiwanese, we call it dongxiao. It's the same blowing technique, same kind of dongxiao and dadi, but smaller than the shakuhachi. We use also brain sound, like play. Vibrating sounds. We also adopt the shakuhachi. Shakuhachi, when making a vibration, it's you shake hands to make a vibrating sound. You play shakuhachi. Also, we also apply the Korean taiken. Taiken is not shake right and left and right. It's not round and up. We also use that. And originally, this vibrating sound is the vibrating tone is lower than the principal note, the main notes. You will play usually. This is original sound, but we adapt it the foreign sound, the vibrant tone is higher than the principal note. That's the whole kind. So for the second part, applied foreign techniques. Then we come to the last part, special displaying techniques. Special displaying technique. The first one is double flute sound. You have one more. Oh yes, one more here for the vibrating sound. One more vibrating sound. It's shaking the fingers, shaking fingers. Like the bowing string instrument. Yes, shaking. Okay. And then come to the third part of special display technique. The first one we have double flute sound. You can imagine one person can play one sound. We'll see how I can play two sounds by one person, two sounds in one instrument. Oh, okay. Second one is trumpet. Second one is not two flute sound. It's only one blowing and one singing sound. Blowing sound and singing sound together. Two person playing two instruments by one. Okay, then the trumpet blowing sound. Trumpet blowing sound is the changing the blowing angle. At first, the blowing angle is a smaller breath angle, and then push outward to make that into a right position. So it makes it kind of slide. Like a trumpet sound. And then number 4, we have a stop. We will skip this stopping leaf playing because the instrument is not in a good condition. It's very difficult one, so we are not going to demonstrate now. We come to the next one, the finger vibrating sound. Finger vibrating sound. And the ocean, it's vibrating the fingers like a bowing instrument. This kind of vibration is shaking the hands down and up, not the right and left. And we have, but not in this paper, but we have still some more. It's missed in this paper. Now we have a blowing tongue hole. Actually, the tongue hole is for fingering, not for blowing. But he will try to blow the fingering hole. See what kind of sound we can produce. And then come to whistling sound. Whistling. It's blowing. You have a second. Another one. Not from the blowing hole, but from fingering hole, produce different sound. Right. then kind of whistling tone. We can whistling and also blowing together by one. Sound, the whistling and the blowing sound. And then come to not by blowing, but just hitting the finger hole to make sound. See, this volume is not very, we still can produce sound. No volume.
Is that traditional? Is that the traditional technique?
Now we are introducing special discipline technique. Tradition is the first part. Second part is applied foreign, and this is specially discipline technique. And the last techniques imitate the animal sound. We can imitate 4 kinds of animal sound. The first one is cock sound. Cock. Right. The second one is hands. Hands laying egg. Hands sound. Yeah, already put it. Then the third is horse sound. Okay, the last one is the birds singing sound. As a conclusion of this playing techniques workshop, Mr. Chen will play a piece and accompanied with Miss Guo, that one. This is a Shandong tradition piece for a new happy marriage. Happy marriage. That's it. give us a very happy gathering on this occasion. And I appreciate all you very much for your cooperation and your attention to our workshop. Thank you very much.